Good evening, everybody. I'm in for Wyatt Sharp. I'm Jackson Gosnell. Cocaine inside one of the most secure buildings in the world has a lot of people talking. It's the White House, for crying out loud, and they can't figure out who brought cocaine inside the White House, or at least that's what they're telling us. So for more, I want to bring in Bobby McDonald, a former Secret Service agent. Thank you for being with me. It's great to have your insight.
Good afternoon, Jackson. Nice to be with you.
So this is the White House we're talking about here, right? It's one of the most secure places on earth, arguably. I've been there numerous times, and the security protocols are pretty significant. They don't just let anybody come strolling up into the White House complex. It seems they know everyone there. They search everyone there. So how could something like this happen?
Well, let me say first off the bat that I am no one is more disappointed in this than me. We have not been able to find the whodunit here. This was a criminal investigation, which is a reconstruction of the past, which means putting the pieces of the puzzle together. Unfortunately, sometimes those pieces of the puzzle don't fit together the way that we want them to fit. I think the Secret Service made a decision here to, once it ran its investigation and it ran aground, meaning that there wasn't any DNA or fingerprints found on the substance that was found. The cameras, while in many locations at the White House, were just not able to pick up the specific area where this was found. I think the Secret Service decided that from a criminal investigation standpoint, the investigation had run its course, and they're not going to be able to pinpoint exactly who was on that. Now, having said that, we do know that it's about a protracted period of time that this investigation needed to look at, and about 500 people that were in and around the campus at the time. So I'm a little disappointed that it didn't run its course a little bit farther to try to narrow that 500 people down to the person or persons responsible for this.
Do you think that this undermines confidence in our Secret Service? I mean, a lot of people look at them as really the ultimate source of law enforcement, right? They're the people protecting the President of the United States. This is not, your small-time police officer in a small community. This is the Secret Service, very powerful. Do you think that confidence has been undermined as a result of this?
Well, your question's a fair one. Look, the optics of this, I'll be willing to indicate, is very, very poor. This doesn't look very good on the Secret Service. There are men and women of both the uniform division and the agent side of the house in the Secret Service that work very, very hard, both in Washington, D.C., across this country. And you just saw them perform very admirably over in Europe, protecting President Biden while he was at NATO meetings and other visits. There's a lot of good things that go on in the Secret Service. This is unfortunately what we're talking about today. Optically, it looks very poor, but I'm willing to bet that the Secret Service, who evaluates and reevaluates its protocols every single day, whether there's a bad instance out there or not, is going to take this and look at its protocols, see how it can tighten up its screening processes at the White House, and better itself in the product that it delivers for the American people. Most of the policies and procedures that the Secret Service implements on a daily basis have been drawn from a previous incident. So this is something that they're going to have to turn on a positive vibe and try to take it and learn from it and hope that something like this doesn't happen again.
The president's son is under a lot of scrutiny, and many conservatives and people on the right have suggested that perhaps this belonged to the president's son. It's probably not the case. I mean, this was found in cubbies where it's highly unlikely that the president's son would have come in contact with. But don't you think, with all the pressure from the right suggesting that perhaps this belonged to Hunter Biden, that this administration would want to get to the bottom of this to further prove their point and their claim that it is not his drugs?
Well, I've said on a number of other outlets yesterday that I would have liked to see a little bit more vim and vigor from the administration to try to
definitely
show a little outrage that, obviously we don't know who it is, but we do know that it was somebody who was able to get into the White House sometime between Friday and Sunday, whether that be a White House staffer, whether that be a guest. Look, they're just like any other employee out there. They should be now looking at their employees, i.e. the people who serve the administration, to continue the investigation from not necessarily a criminal side, but from just a human resources side to say, hey, something's not right here and we need to find out who was involved in this. I haven't heard a whole lot of that from the administration, and that continues to add to my disappointment.
I was going to talk about that because it seems to the administration on the outside looking in that they really, oh, well, we found some cocaine, in the White House. The Secret Service is dealing with it. Okay, next question. So why do you think the administration is not acting a little bit more aggressively to try and get to the bottom of this? It seems like it's not a big deal for them.
Well, coming from the Secret Service for 21 years, we are an apolitical organization. We protect the people who hold the office of the president or vice president. We don't like to get into politics. But let's be honest, the messaging that's coming out of this administration right now with respect to this and other issues is really not coming across very well. It allows for continued speculation in a lot of different areas when a question or questions are not answered with a little bit more specificity or with a little bit more direction as to what the actual question was. The Secret Service is going to continue to show up every day and do the very best it can. Is this a good instance right now or a good look for the Secret Service? Absolutely not. But we have to continue to show up every day, do what we do it as well as we do it despite this blip, and figure out how to continue to better ourselves on a daily basis.
Do you think the Secret Service knows who brought cocaine into the White House? They're just saying that they don't.
I'm hoping that the messaging that's coming out of the Secret Service is exactly what it is, that they hit a dead end here, and unfortunately, that's where we are. The Secret Service has a motto of worthy and trust and confidence, and while we have had our blips along the way, whether it be the Cartagena incident or other things along over the years, we still work hard every day to do the very best possible job and serve our country. So, I don't believe that the Secret Service is holding back any information. I hope that I'm on the spot with that. I'd be very disappointed if they were doing it another way, and I really don't think that they are.
Yeah, clearly the optics are not looking too good. Do you think that this opens up the door for conversations to perhaps enhance security measures and enhance the ability of what detections and systems are in place to ensure that this doesn't happen again? Do you think they're going to be working on that?
I think the service has already started conversations internally with those issues, but I also think they're going to have to continue to answer the oversight of Congress. They had a secure briefing yesterday, which allows the Secret Service to put a lot of the issues on the table that they normally couldn't do in an open hearing. I think you're going to see Congress continuing to push for more answers on a lot of things that happened here. And again, the Secret Service needs to take those inquiries as a positive and turn those issues around so that they continue to better the product that we're able to give in the area of protection. We shouldn't feel bad about talking about it. We shouldn't feel bad about owning up to a mistake if a mistake happened here. We're human. But we have to get better and better and better at it every day. We have a no-fail mission, and we have to continue to work hard to make sure that that happens on a regular basis.
All right, well, certainly not looking good right now. Hopefully things can pan out and maybe we'll get to the bottom of this at some point, despite the fact that the investigation has been closed. Former Secret Service agent Bobby McDonald, thank you for being with me.
Thank you, Jackson.